Hey guys, I'm Leo. I'm Israeli. So why will Israelis will never accept Islam? Well, I think that there are two reasons that actually are not related to Islam itself, but mainly because of the history of Islam when it comes to Jews. We Jews have been living under 1300 years. That's more than 1,000 years under Muslim occupation that oppressed the Jews, colonized the Jews, oppressed them. There were massacres of Jews, and the Jews basically suffer under Islam. Don't talk to me about Spain, because Spain is something else. The Jews in the Middle East, particularly in the land of Israel, suffered. They were impoverished. Okay, their property was taken away from them. They were not allowed to carry weapons. They were not allowed to build houses, to own property. They were oppressed. So for from the Jewish point of view, it's completely understood that Islam is a religion of conquest, occupation, and oppression. It's injustice. It's the religion of injustice. For Jews, it's a religion that justified injustice. Is that if you have the power, then you are completely eligible to be completely cruel to anyone else just because you have the power. The idea of justice, does it even exist in Islam? Because they just kill people that are in their way. If you are again in our way, then we're going to find some reason that you are against Allah or something like this. Now, this is of course this is one thing. This is the history of oppression and occupation of the Jews. That if someone will approach to me and tell me, "Oh, accept Allah, accept Muhammad," why would I do it? Or why would I want to become like you? Evil, violent, murdering. Why would I want to become like you? All right, and probably if I'm gonna say that, the person will probably beat me, probably gonna try to hit me or something like this, showing that it is a violent religion. It's a religion of violence. Okay, there's no other way to say it. I mean, where is the justice? Where is the hope for a better for a better, I don't know, better life for everyone? All right, Islam doesn't offer that, not really. Okay, it's they are killing each other, stealing from each other, cheating each other, and this is before there were Arab countries. You had 400 years of the Ottoman Empire of basically killing each other, fighting against each other, terrible wars, oppression of anyone that didn't have enough power to protect itself. And before that, you had the Mamluks, which were just like the Ottomans. They were corrupted, and they were struggling against. They were fighting against each other for power. This is Islam, all right. There's no other reality of I don't know, good Islam. I mean, maybe in there's some other countries, especially in Central Asia, like yeah, to present day it's Kazakhstan and Uzbekistan, basically those countries that at least in most of their history they didn't really oppress the Jews. I read the history of the Jews that lived there, the Bukhara, for example. They live most of the time peacefully. But I can tell you that those Jews, they did carry weapon. The rules of Islam that forbade Jews and Christians from carrying weapon were not enforced there as much as they were enforced in the Middle East. And because of that, Jews they simply they were able to protect themselves individually, so nobody was messing with them. And if he was messing, then he was waiting for revenge by individual Jews. Okay, so it wasn't like there was the Jews were in a community that was vulnerable in the Christian world and like in the Muslim world, that the Christians and the Muslims did not allow the Jews to carry a weapon, and this is why they were all the time a target for violence, because the laws of the state did not allow them to carry a weapon, Christian laws, okay? But in other countries, like in Central Asia, those laws were not enforced, so Jews, they can carry a weapon or a dagger or whatever. So if something happened, they can defend themselves. All right, and this is the real thing that reduce anti-Semitism. Okay, because if the person that you are yelling at can take a dagger and stab you for insulting him, then you will think twice or third time before you say something against Jews. That was not the case in Jerusalem or in Gaza or in Tiberias or in Istanbul or Damascus or Alexandria or Cairo for 1,000 years. All right, you can do whatever you want. If you see a Jew, you can take his money, you can beat him, you can rape his wife, and he won't be able to do anything because the laws of Islam implemented in the state said that he cannot yell at you, he cannot resist you, he cannot accuse you in court. If you do something bad to a Jew, according to Islam, there's nothing he can do against it. He can't even go to court. He need to bring Muslim someone to a Muslim to testify that the thing happened. His testimony is not valid. So if it happened in a void that it was just him and that person, it didn't happen basically. This is the reality of racism against other people of different race and different creed. Okay, it's a systematical racism and basically bigotry and hate and injustice. So why would anyone want to accept Islam, a religion that is nothing like Judaism? Okay, so they don't eat pork. So what? So what? That it has nothing to do with the. This is basically the only thing that is similar. Okay, so what? All right, they believe in Jesus. All right, okay. They say they believe in God, but they call it Allah. There's no mention of Allah in the Hebrew Bible. All right, so I have no idea where they got this Allah. All right, so this is why there's absolutely no way that Israelis will accept Islam. Okay, bye.